And hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wraparound Stereo Podcast, where we're coming at you live from the Raptors getting hammered at home to the LA Clippers. Let's get this feed going. Yeah, so the Raptors drop 112-92 at the Scotiabank Center this evening on the night that Kawhi comes back to town, the night that Kawhi gets a video tribute, the night that Kawhi comes back and gets his ring. Santa Claus came back to town, and he took the bag of loot with him. We didn't really show out tonight. It was a rough game. Even up until after halftime, we made a push in the third, and then we got it up until margin of 5, and then they blew the doors off us, and we never kind of got close again. Apologies for the delay, technical difficulties trying to live stream in our friend MZ from his home in Ottawa, and we're going to try and figure that out, but for now we have him on the call for audio. So, got a special guest in the building. MZ, what's up, buddy?
What up? What up? Glad to be here.
How you feeling about this game?
A lot of ups and downs.
Roller coaster? You felt good at the beginning?
Oh yeah, nice little. First off, nice little tribute to Kawhi. I like that little light show they put on of his series-winning shot against Philly. You see that?
Wasn't that cool where they illuminated the steps, right, that he took to get to the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a picture of that. I screenshotted it when I saw it on social media. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
The other fun thing is that I was telling you my dad went to the game.
Yeah.
So he's a diehard Leafs fan, couldn't care less about basketball. And he texted me literally 4 o'clock this afternoon. He's like, by the way, I have tickets to the Kawhi reunion game tonight.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? You're falling in ass backwards to these seats, and get this, 14th row.
Oh my god.
That's not cheap.
You're like, buddy, why didn't you call me earlier?
Well, I said that. I'm like, okay, so no tickets for your son? And he's like, sorry, just one ticket for me and my new boss. And apparently he's had this new boss for just 2 weeks, so I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't even call me for, buzzwords or topics to chat about, but maybe, whatever, he held his own. Do you remember when the Raps went to the playoffs back in 2006? It was Chris Bosh's first playoffs with us.
Yeah.
And we faced Vince in New Jersey in the first round. I don't remember if you remember watching that one.
New Jersey.
Bad memories, right?
Yeah.
My dad gets tickets to that Game 2 game that we actually won at home.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, yeah, that Anthony Parker, he's a real special player. I'm like, Dad, you've never heard of this guy's name 2 hours before this game. Don't talk to me about what you think the Raptors are. He'll lie to his colleagues that I'm a Leafs fan. We've been out to drinks, and he's like, yeah, this is my son. Loves the Leafs. Loves McGillney. Which is true. I actually liked the Leafs up until 2004. But this isn't a hockey podcast.
He's trying to hide his shame.
I know. He's trying to bring me down with him. I won't have any of it. That's right. So today I'm wearing brand new Raptors jersey, 43, Pascal. It's a nice black with the red trim. But it was interesting because I was looking for a Kawhi jersey, and he's still a better player than Pascal, but he's not on our team anymore. It's a sad state of affairs, and like you said, it was kind of highs and lows because we loved when he was coming out. We got to see him again. Did you see that he also put up a billboard at Yonge and Dundas Square?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. So that was cool. Thanking Toronto, which is the most Kawhi way you could do it, right?
Yeah, it was a nice little tribute back and forth. Much love.
So that was great. He even put 2 hands up in the air, which is more than he'll ever do, right?
That was very expressive, I'd say.
For him. So yeah. I was on social media quite a bit during this game, at least at the very beginning. So on Twitter, a lot of the writers I follow, Philly-based writers, Golden State beat writers, USA Today guys, they were all in agreement that like that was a super classy ceremony, and I
Yeah,
couldn't agree with them more. Like video tribute, okay, we knew that was coming. They gave him the ring. Kyle was the one to give him the ring, but like they dapped him up. Like all the players dapped him up at center court. Right,
yeah, yeah.
Masai came down in his plaid suit, which like only he can pull off. They were all in agreement. It was classy because it's never happened before. You've never had like a Finals MVP leave after the summer and then come back. Like you'd think that'd be super awkward.
Yeah, not at all.
But if
Very
you
classy for the organization.
but if you think about it, that's like a first for like in NBA history. Like we were the first team to host a Finals MVP coming back to get his ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It's true.
That's crazy. It's weird to think about. I just just thought about that now.
I feel like it's like a signal to the league, like, hey, we'll treat you right. Come
That's
play
right.
with us.
I don't think that goes unnoticed. Did you see? So I saw this tweet earlier that Porzingis, that the Raptors were one of 4 teams on his short list before he left for the Mavs.
Yeah, I think I did. I did hear about that. Yeah.
I think it was Heat, Clippers, and Brooklyn were the other 3.
Oh man,
So
what could have been?
pretty cool. That'd been so cool to see him in a Raps jersey. I still have his Knicks jersey, and I'm still gonna rock it because I love Knicks colors. But this isn't a Knicks podcast either. It's not a hockey podcast. It's not a Knicks podcast. So
Yeah.
keep it
Get
moving.
your listen elsewhere, people.
That's right. Listen to the
They
Nick
got
of
it.
Time podcast or something. Not here. Not the wraparound. All Raptors all day, baby. So a couple things that I noticed from the very beginning. I thought we had a really, really competitive first quarter.
Yeah, it's great.
I thought Mike was really, or not Mike, Mark was hitting 2-point shots. Apparently, like he's been historically poor 2-point shot maker this season. Like for a center, anybody who's been like 7+, like nobody's ever been this bad. But he's been good on defense, and I still think that he's really, really solid.
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell was trying to post him up, and like you're not moving Mark. Like he's not fat, he's not muscular either. He's just he's a house, right? He's just a big man. He's like 7 feet, and he's got a like pretty wide frame. So I thought that was funny. Those fouls that happen on Hollis Jefferson. Did you watch the whole game? Those were dubious.
Yeah, especially that last one, the fourth one.
Yeah. So, the fourth one where he went up like. But that was a whole. Do you remember watching that possession? I have it written down here that we like missed 4 or 5 threes in a row.
Yeah,
And we kept getting our own rebound, and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then the one that Hollis Jefferson gets back, he like there's this like ghost foul on him. Ugh.
Yeah. Lowry can punch it in.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't sit well with me. I thought OG in the beginning was one of our best guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You feel me on that?
I thought tonight OG and Powell were solid, whereas flip coin of that was Mufuzzi and Lowry were MIA.
Oh man, so was Siakam
Yeah.
for the most part. Like he kind of ebbed and flowed. He was there and he wasn't there. But I want to save Siakam for a bit later because like I got a lot to say about him. I think.
And one more thing on Hollis Jefferson.
Yeah.
Doesn't he kind of slightly resemble Tupac Shakur? You get that vibe? Telling you, I'm getting that vibe.
I never thought about it that way.
Well, now you can't unsee it. So
Okay, I'll look for it. But I got a Stanley Johnson lookalike for you.
okay. Yeah.
Are you familiar with what he looks like? He hasn't played a lot, but do you know what he looks like?
I'm googling him right now.
Okay, and then Google. I don't know if you've ever watched either The Walking Dead or
Yeah.
or The Wire
Yep.
or Homeland, maybe all 3.
2 out of 3.
There's a dude that plays a mortician in those shows.
In all 3?
Maybe not Walking Dead, but the other 2. So The Wire and Homeland. So if you Google him, anyway, I'll let you do that while I keep chatting. But like that's something that I can't unsee. He's just like a character actor that like shows up once in a while, and like that's the guy. Stanley looks exactly like that guy. But I'm gonna keep it a lookout for the Tupac reference. I want. Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I've seen it now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't unsee that one.
Oh, man.
Uh,
Okay.
so it was interesting. So there was a one I wrote down here like that we had a great defensive sequence when there was you remember there was like a breakaway that Paul George and Kawhi had. I think it was in the first or second quarter, and we played like defense. I think beautifully. Like we stripped them and like we rotated and we covered. I wish I had more notes on that. This is all from the first quarter.
Mm.
Uh, we just had rough 3 point shooting overall. If
It
I,
was tragic.
like if I look at the box score, for them they didn't even shoot that well. They shot 30% from three, but we shot an abominable 22.2%.
Yes, clangers all night.
Not great.
Like, not great.
Did you notice that there was one play where OG went up for a layup or a dunk or something, and Pat Bev blocked him and stared him down? Like he took like 2 seconds instead of running up the court to like stare down OG who fell.
No, I missed that.
No,
Oof.
okay. I think everybody missed that. The broadcast missed it, and I saw it on the corner of my eye, and I lolled. And it's funny because like OG is like the one person who's not gonna get like ticked off about it.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
doesn't care. Like it would be water off his back. He'd be like, "What does that mean?" Or he'd be like some like aloof.
Calm down.
He wouldn't understand what was happening. Um, Pascal. So I really tried to like zero in on him when he was playing and being guarded by Paul George.
Mm,
And I remember that DeMar always had problems against Paul George. He's just long. He's lanky. Like maybe first all team defense.
yeah,
It seemed like he was getting that treatment, but he was getting a lot of times he was getting the better of Paul George.
yeah.
Do you notice
I mean,
that? Like they always sent at least doubles or something at him at the last minute.
yeah.
So
And
testament to him. I think there's a lot of people on Twitter tonight that were kind of painting Pascal as a DeMar kind of replica, like somebody who kind of shrinks from the bigger moments.
no, definitely not at all. I mean,
I was getting that sense, and people are getting a little bit bummed because like he's disappeared in some of these bigger games.
I think, yeah. I think he's still just kind of getting used to his role, right? Now he's like the go-to guy. He'll figure it out. It's not like he hasn't shown like these flashes of brilliance where he can dominate a game.
That's right,
It's just like he's got to get used to it now, right?
man.
That,
When we chatted after the Utah game last week, there was legit buzz that he was the seventh best player in the league.
yeah, yeah. There's
And
buzz like,
to be honest, he's still young. Like I'm not too worried. So the one thing I did write though, like I have a hot take about this game is that this isn't our year.
nah, yeah. I believe that.
Like I wanted to believe in the hype when we were winning all those games. We had like a 6 game win streak without Kyle, without Serge. But
Yeah,
you kind of like look around in games like these, and like this is the worst the team's gonna look. I think like it's gonna get better from here.
yeah,
But like seeing Pascal struggle with certain decision making, kind of shrinking. Like sometimes you'd forget that Pascal is on the floor. Like I forgot sometimes.
yeah.
Like that can't happen with the seventh best player in the league. I'm sorry, it just can't.
It's like
Uh,
odd. Uh,
Sorry, go
it
ahead.
seemed like he was. It's like odd. Like it's like quiet, but he comes out with like 24 points. But I mean, still, that's a quiet 24 points.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seemed like,
9 of 20,
yeah.
and he was minus 16 on the night.
Oof.
You know, credit to Mark. Mark was even in plus minus in
He
31
had,
minutes.
he had a good game. Ooh,
So,
you see that third there? Gasol to Spicy P for the dish. Ooh,
yeah. That was nice to see.
that showed off that was like a nice little run they had there, showing life. Powell three, Gasol pass,
Yeah,
Spicy P, and then foul by Lou on OG. I was
you
like, okay.
you got to admit though that's kind of impressive to be even when your team loses by 20 and you play 30 minutes, right?
Mm.
No, I think that's a big stat for me.
30 minutes. Who?
Marc Gasol,
Oh yeah,
a
yeah. He
zero,
ate.
like even. I mean,
Hmm.
Whatever. So
Yeah.
that's my big takeaway because I'm looking at these other numbers, this box score. So like Pascal was a minus 16, OG was 4 of 14, and he was a minus 24 in 35 minutes.
Yikes.
Powell was a minus 20, even though he shot well. He was a minus 20
Yeah. Gee.
because I think he had the unfortunate like. So the thing about the Clippers is they got a lot of weapons, right?
Yeah.
So they got Paul George, Kawhi, and then even when one of them rests, then like Lou Williams can gun you, and like he goes to the line a whole bunch, and I think Powell was the main defender on him, so he was getting torched. Like they come at you, they're a good team.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
Lou Williams, danger.
he used to be our sixth man of the year, and we gave him up for nothing. Like we let him walk in free agency, and even he was upset about it. He's like, I had a great time. I don't know why they didn't even offer me a deal.
Yeah.
And now look at him.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's in the past. The other thing about the box score is that like Serge sucks.
Yeah. He had. It was a rough night. I'm. What was it 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 points? Come on, bud.
Uh, I didn't actually see the point total until now. It is 0.
Yeah.
He was 0 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3 in 20 minutes, and he was a minus 12 in 20 minutes. Nobody else was that bad except Pat McCaw, and Pat McCaw hasn't played it in a month. I'm talking bench guys.
Would you say he's still kind of feeling his oats, getting his stance down?
Sure. Like I think on the broadcast they were saying that like Serge or Jack said that Serge looked the best to him that he's ever seen him before he had that injury.
Right. Yeah.
Did you catch that?
I missed that, but I mean, it makes sense. Like he was coming in this season, like he was primed, he was ready, and then he got injured, and that kind of threw off his rhythm.
And I'm at a point now where, like, I always forget that he's coming off of an injury, but I'm at the point where I'm like, trade the guy, because what we saw to Boucher was so good. That's where I'm coming at it from. Like Mark maybe can't score, but he's an all defensive center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle will always fit into whatever team. Yeah, he'll take some bad shots sometimes, make some bad decisions, but overall, like he's the best player in Raptors history, arguably.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
Serge just kind of like if he's not hitting shots and if he's not rebounding, he's a nobody. Like why is he out there?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming at it from. Like at least Boucher like hits threes, hustles, and is a bit longer. Like why not give him more minutes at Ibaka's expense?
Well, I mean, he's got to make Ibaka look pretty for the
I
trade.
know. And that's what I said on my last pod is that it's all political. Like you're paying Serge how much? Like of course you're going to give him minutes. Right?
Yeah.
But still, I don't think well, maybe he gets better, but I think like that's kind of weighing down our team. Or maybe he needs to start. I don't know what it is. Like there's something off with him and it's killing our team. 0 of 8 is unacceptable in a big game. I wrote down Serge sucks 3 times in my notes. There was enough that I saw that I did not like about him. There's a couple other things that I saw. So, like bleeding into the second quarter, kind of when we started blowing it. I don't understand why we keep doubling Kawhi. Like I know it worked down in LA when we played him last. But I thought it was unnecessary. I think he was really good picking out the shooters. Like he's an improved playmaker even from last year.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that bit us in the ass. Like I remember Pat Beverly was in the corner and like Powell almost shaded over, but then he would have had to leave his guy. And like it just seemed like we were so unorganized sometimes, and we weren't like that before our 3-game losing streak, frankly.
Well, I mean, it's like pick your poison, right? You gotta, like they mentioned it last time they play the Clippers. It's like they don't want Kawhi to score,
Yeah,
and they take their chances with everyone else. But I mean, this is good. This is a good Clippers team, right? So,
Sure.
well, this is the result.
I still think they're going to win the title. So, yeah, like fair enough. Like a great team, but come on, like the way we were rolling. It was a week ago that we rolled Utah.
Yeah,
And admittedly, like, so they're not as good as everybody once thought they were, but we rolled them by 40 points at halftime. Like, what happened to that team?
gone fishing.
Like as soon as we played Miami and we brought those two guys back in, Kyle and Serge played that game, and we got trucked by Jimmy Butler, and then we got trucked by James Harden, and then we got trucked in Philly, and then we barely beat the Bulls, and then we get demolished at home on ring night for Kawhi.
Yeah.
None of those are good outcomes. Even the Bulls win shouldn't have been close. The
I
Bulls
feel
are
like,
bad. The Bulls are bad.
yeah. I mean, I guess,
I don't know what happened to the team that I saw last week. That's what I've come on here the last 4 shows and said exactly this.
well, you gotta make room for those guys to come back in, right? Throws everyone off.
I know it's so janky, but like,
Yeah.
should it look this disorganized? Is it like the perfect storm of chemistry and them still being hurt so that they're not even making shots? Is that what I'm seeing? I don't know. I can't diagnose it.
But tonight was gonna be a tough game either way because Kawhi's like teammates. They're gonna want to beat the Raps, right?
Yeah.
They want to show Kawhi that yeah, you made the right decision.
Yeah, that's right.
So like we're not gonna give this up easy.
Yeah, I didn't calculate that they might have an edge. But how do you explain the other teams? How do you explain the Heat? Like, well, okay, I could explain that as the Jimmy Butler revenge game after the shot because we like tore his heart out. But the
Everyone's
Houston,
out against
but the
everyone's
Houston,
out against this, man.
but the Houston thing, like the Philly thing, I knew we were gonna get blown out. I didn't even watch it. I didn't record an episode of this for it because I knew we were gonna get washed. And the Bulls thing, okay, well, whatever. Those are all the old games, but this one it's no more inspiring. Like, what are the positives that you take away from this?
Let's say uh, they're janky in the second half, in the second quarter. Came back in the third,
Yeah,
gave us a chance. I was like, okay, like we're not getting beat here, but they had some fight.
they did have a fight. They got it to within 5, but then what
Yeah,
happened? then we then they went on
but
like a 12-0 run in the third quarter or something. I don't remember.
yeah,
Ooh. Uh, yeah. So that. Going back to my notes, that was my hot take. That one, this isn't our year, and number two, we should look to deal Surge. I don't know who will take him, but if we could get some run for Boucher, maybe on my own island here among Raptors fans because everyone loves Surge, but I'm banging that drum right now.
I mean, you want to build for the future. We got to get something, right?
Yeah,
Gotta get one. I
it's funny,
mean,
right? Because the whole narrative going into the season was, oh, when is it wasn't if it was when is Masai going to blow it up and start shipping pieces off?
yeah,
And you know what we saw when those guys went down was that Mark and all these young guys were crushing teams.
yeah.
Like they were so much fun to watch. They were so much fun to cheer for. They had all the underdog status about them. They rotated. They switched. They shared on offense. Like the ball never got stuck. Like I want to see that team. Like to hell with these guys making 20 plus million a year. But you know what you can chalk it up to is like it's an emotional thing. Like I don't like to lose, so you always kind of look for someone to blame.
Yeah. Point.
There's a lot of recency bias there, so I try not to fall too deep into it. But I've now had 5 games to see this team, and I haven't seen them improve since Utah.
I mean, yeah, they've been going through a real rough patch for sure. And against some good teams, Heat, Rockets,
Yeah,
Rivers.
and that'll happen. I think in any season, you're gonna have ups and downs. It's not gonna be all roses.
But I think they'll be looking past this week and thankful it's over,
Yeah,
and kind of look ahead to kind of
like a
some bottom feeders here,
softer part of the schedule.
kind of regroup, until like let's say the Mavericks, they can kind of get their feet under them again.
Have you been looking ahead of the schedule? Do they play the Mavs soon? I haven't actually looked.
Yeah, so they play the Nets, the Cavs, Pistons, Wizards, and then Mavericks.
Hmm.
So that's and then it kind of gets spicy again. Pacers, and then 2 back-to-backs with the Celtics.
Hmm.
The Celtics, rather.
And Oladipo's coming back for the Pacers, so they might be an actual contender. with him and on that team.
Mm.
Uh, the other thing I wrote here is, credit to the Clippers. We talked a little bit about this, how they're a good team, but like they were hitting impossible shots. A lot of them, a lot of those Lou Williams ones. And I know it's a shot where he kind of like fades left,
Yeah,
just outside the 3-point arc. He did it for us when he played for us, and like he'd hit daggers like that. But it just seemed like we were missing bunnies. Like Serge missed bunnies. Like he had
yeah,
3 feet away from the basket, and like he clanged them all.
yeah.
And there's Lou Williams like raining down 25 footers, and it doesn't even hit rim. And you're like, okay, I guess it's not our night then. But we didn't help ourselves. I think we had a lot of bad passes. And
Yeah.
so this box score that I have up doesn't show it, but like it doesn't seem like we were running at all. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like fast break points. I feel like we had like 2 the whole game.
Yeah, that's a good feel to it. Yeah,
But we used
it
to we
reminds me.
used we used to do that a lot. Like we were the number 1 fast break team in the league.
Yeah.
Kept throwing it ahead. Pascal had the motor. Fred kept throwing it up to him.
I mean, that's a big loss for us, right? For this game was Fred
Yeah,
was not kind of slow things down.
yeah. Fred's gonna get paid. Somebody put out there that Fred's gonna get paid 9 figures this summer.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's up? Good for him.
yeah, good for him. He bet on himself. I would rather have him like if we were able to ship Lowry and his expiring, and like just have Fred and give him the money. I'd prefer that. He's just younger.
Yeah.
Well, that's a crazy thing to say that Fred's already kind of there, but he is kind of there.
Hmm.
So
Pretty much.
kudos to him. Otherwise, the other couple things I have here is one. I think we just like collapsed. I think we like got deflated when our offense wasn't falling. I think we were 0 of 9 from 3 in the second,
Oof. Yeah.
and and I don't know if you saw this, but there was one point in the third where OG had a dunk and he actually celebrated. Like he maybe shows less emotion than Kawhi, and he actually put 2 hands in the air. That was one of the other highlights. Instead of all these lowlights that we could keep talking about, we still got some characters. I still believe in a lot of players on this team. It's just not clicking. That's my big. That's like my overall arc of the game.
Yeah, it's your crystal ball looking down the line. What will be the?
My crystal ball.
Well, I feel like that's like your diagnosis of what this year will be. You know?
I'm actually hesitant to give it a crystal ball because the first 15 games or 20 probably were like the best we're going to see the team, and then this stretch is the worst that we're going to see the team.
Mm.
So we're probably going to be somewhere in the middle. Probably third, fourth seed. I still think we could make conference finals.
Mm.
It's like I'm not afraid of. Like if we're playing our game, I'm not afraid of Philly.
Yeah.
If we're
Yeah.
playing, the only team I'm actually afraid of is the Bucks.
Mm.
At
Yeah.
least in the East.
Giannis is gonna have his revenge.
Yeah. So if we don't line up on their side of the bracket, I think we can make it to the finals, to the conference finals, I should say. But that's kind of like best case scenario. If everything clicks and we play well and we iron out these kinks that we're seeing now,
Yeah.
then that's my glass half full crystal ball. And I don't even want to talk about half empty because I don't want to think about what that would look like. What about you?
Um. Yeah, Philly. I mean, I was looking at the show today, and from the Philly and Utah game,
Yeah.
and they were talking about like how it was like a real stinker, right? Like how like the 2 top centers in the league right now, like they had no fire, right? Um,
What do you mean 2 top centers?
or Jokic and Embiid, right?
Yeah.
So they're like this was it. This is the big clash of titans. Like they're not playing like great, right?
They play tonight because I can't find the box score.
No, no, this was yesterday or the day
Oh,
before.
okay. Okay. My bad.
And yeah, they're having doubts about Philly. I'm like, okay, I could see that because Embiid, he's not having a great year like last time, right? Like
No.
last year, he was averaging what, like 28. Now it's like 22 or something.
Is it that much of a difference? Because I didn't think it was a drop off.
Oh
What I,
yeah, it's a drop off.
what I kept hearing was that he didn't get better, and like he needed to for the team to. Well, I think it's more on Ben Simmons needing to be able to make shots to push them over the top. But
Yeah,
see, what's interesting to me is that Philly has all these, like, you can spot the problems and where they're gonna like have what their ceiling is. I can't. It's hard to paint the Raptors the same way.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like where are they obviously lacking? Like what can you say and point to? This is why we're losing. Because it's not that simple.
I mean, killer player in the playoffs
True.
and the
That
ball this night. He's going to score for you. If you
that
having problems, don't worry about it. I mean, that was the luxury we had last time, right?
that's a good
That's
point.
why.
No, and that's very true. I've heard that one. That you know, for us, the difference between conference semifinals and making the NBA finals is
Yeah,
having a guy who can score in the clutch.
yeah.
And yeah, people don't get that sense from Pascal, at least not yet. And I agree with them. He
And then
disappears. He appears too often when he's the focus of people's game plans. He can't really make his own shot.
yeah,
He's a work in progress, though. Like I am. I've learned my lesson not to put a ceiling on Pascal.
yeah. It's true.
But again, that kind of keeps me coming back to this isn't quite our year.
Yeah,
If he figures it out again, yeah, I think conference. Like if everything hits right and everybody's healthy, we could take the Bucks to 5 or 6.
mm.
That's my like high end prediction.
I'm gonna say that's a bit generous. I'm thinking to say Boston will get there before we do.
You think, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look sharper. Although we looked really really sharp a week ago.
No, it's all.
I can't get over that. We looked so good. That was the biggest or like the eighth biggest halftime deficit in NBA history when we trucked Utah.
Hmm.
It's hard to shake. Like it's Jekyll and Hyde basically.
Yeah, I'm sure Masai's looking at that too.
That's right. Yeah, there's no way that Nick's seat is feeling warm, but like this is probably the first time. Man, it's not the first time, but I feel like he's not worried about his job security, but it's the first time that Masai's eyes are on him. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. You think?
I think. It's probably way, way too early to say that,
Yeah.
but I have to believe some of this is on the coaching, and they haven't learned how to integrate their own players back yet.
Mm.
But anyway, did you have some notes? Is there anything that I didn't hit on that kind of struck you?
Um, no, I think we touched it all.
Yeah. So overall takeaway.
So overall takeaway, we'll see what happens in the next few days. I mean, I feel like, yeah, I think I kind of agree. I think this will be the kind of this is the worst we'll see them, the Raps, but we've seen the best already. So now it's kind of, I think, I think now Masai is kind of wondering what he can trade. 'Cause it's the future. It's not going to be this year.
No. Do you think we're jumping the gun to say that it's not this year?
It's being bold, stepping out on a ledge.
Do you think it's a hot take to say that
This is a hot take.
it's not their year?
Yeah. Put on wax.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to revisit like that 6 game winning streak again for the sake of posterity, but in the middle of that you could convince yourself that we could get to the finals. because we were rolling, and then we didn't have our best players in the lineup.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, never count them down. I mean, but because they got that mental toughness, but oof.
mental toughness is not a word I would even think of this past week.
Because these
To me,
playoffs are going to be harder.
To me,
That's for
they've
sure.
rolled over and looked pathetic. That's easy for me to say. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes and who's hurt, right? But very uninspiring.
I don't know. It feels like maybe we just like we reverted back to the pre Kawhi Raptors, where like we're a great team, but
Yeah,
it's just like it's not going to work with this bunch.
yeah. I was thinking that too, and that's why I was seeing all that social media stuff about Pascal's ceiling being the same as DeMar's, like a good player, but someone who shrinks from the moment.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want it to
mean,
be true. I don't. I really don't, and I still think that he's got years to improve. I think.
yeah, I think so too. I think he has no ceiling yet.
No, but is he missing a certain gene of like just to like? Is he missing like a killer instinct?
No, I think he'll find it.
It's
I
one of
mean, I
those.
think
It's one of those weird, like unquantifiable things in sports, right?
right.
But there's certain athletes that go for the jugular, and there's certain athletes that are like, "It's a game I love. I've made money. That's cool."
There's one note I'd like to bring up
Yep.
that Jack brought up on the TV broadcast. He mentioned that without a doubt, this was like the best trade for Kawhi. This was the best trade in sports history. Would you agree
Whoa.
with that?
In sports history.
Yeah.
Whoa. What do you like? What's even in the top three? Like, what am I comparing it to?
He didn't give examples, but he said in all of NFL, NHL, MLB.
Whoa.
Because here you go, you get this one guy, one shot. You don't even know how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
What do? You win a championship with them. So
Yeah. I don't think that's ever been done, and I think it's iconic. There's never been somebody who did so much with so little time.
yeah,
But I'm
like
trying
he,
to think, like in the '90s, did Gretzky get traded?
yeah. Well, he got traded from Edmonton to what? LA.
But did he get traded, or was he like an unrestricted free agent?
No, he was traded,
He was traded.
but he never won a cup with LA.
Hmm. What about? Yeah, he never won a cup. What about Shaquille O'Neal to the Lakers?
Was he traded though? Yeah, I guess he was traded.
I
But
think he wanted out. He demanded it, but he won 3 straight championships there.
yeah, but that's true.
Or I'm trying to think who else is in that category. Like the Harden trade?
Ooh, yeah. But I mean,
Like
they haven't won anything yet.
no, that's true. And if we're measuring it in championships, different story. But Harden is like one of the best players of his generation, bar none.
Yeah,
And they've had him for more years than the one that we had of Kawhi. But it's an interesting. Like I'm not going to argue it. I think like
yeah,
that there's a strong case to be made for what Jack's saying. I just need to see the rest of the field. But
yeah,
like I'm
true.
not one to argue. Like I'm a homer. Like yeah, it was an amazing trade.
Yeah.
I'm just trying my best to be objective about it. Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it for us. Anything else you want to sign off with? Do you have any outro music?
Yeah, you can catch me on my podcast. It's called That's a Wrap.
What?
No, I'm pulling your chain here.
You're cheating
Yeah.
on me. That's why you haven't been able to make these.
Got an empire to grow here.
Oh, buddy. All right. Well, thanks for being a part of it, and we'll catch you guys next time when the Raptors play. Who? MZ?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Here or there?
Okay. I think we're there.
There. All right. I don't know if Kyrie's gonna play, but should be a fun one. All right.
Should be.
Till next time. See you later.
See you.